Let me make sure everybody's muted out before we get started. Okay, we're going to get started. I want to thank you guys all for hopping on today. If you guys are new, we do this call every single week, so make sure you're marking it in your calendar, setting your alarms. I'm super excited because the time change for the rest of the world, but where I live, it happens pretty soon. We don't have a time change here. And I'm excited because I'm about to only be 2 hours from the East Coast instead of 3. And y'all are like, what? Why is that such a big deal? Because it is, you guys. That extra hour is crazy. It's just, it's nuts what that extra hour gives me. So I'm super excited for that. I'm excited for the new month ahead. And we have a huge lineup of 200Ks that I'm going to be interviewing over the next month. And we are ending out our month strong with somebody that I actually interviewed maybe a little bit over a year ago on this call. And I just love her. Actually, Courtney was probably one of the first 200Ks when I got into the company that I just kind of connected with and met her at a lifestyle getaway, and she was the sweetest human ever and so welcoming. And last time I had her on this call, you guys were like, some of you guys may remember, but we have so many new people that haven't heard that I'm like, I've got to get her on again. Courtney, you're probably going to have to unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I am here. Can you hear me okay?
I can. You're good. Yay. Well, first of all, thank you for when I asked, once again, graciously saying absolutely. I appreciate you so much. And like I said, we've got so many new people, and there's so many 200Ks in Lavelle. It just blows my mind how many 200Ks there are, that there's just no way to be able to know everybody and their story. And that's why I love this call so much, because we get to hear people's stories and their struggles and their wins and their tips. So I cannot wait to dig in today. And I wanted to start with kind of you sharing your story before Lavelle. Like, what were you doing before you got into any kind of network marketing? And then how did you find network marketing? And then how did you find Lavelle?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on with you, Lisa. And yes, I remember that lifestyle getaway. We were on the bus together. I think it was Punta Cana. Um, and we had a very long bus ride. And you and I were just chit-chatting, and it was so nice to meet you and just kind of have that one-on-one time, which is, why we love our lifestyle getaways. And I'm thankful those are coming back. Make sure you are running for those lifestyle getaways. Make sure you are qualifying and that you register and you get yourself there, because they're just so important, that belly to belly with our teams and with other leaders. And they're just such a blessing, and they're so much fun. So thank you for having me, guys. I've got a lot of my team on too, and just the growth here at Lavelle is always exciting. So a little bit about myself. I actually found direct sales network marketing back in early 2012. I had been a stay-at-home mom for many years. My youngest son was about 2 years old, and I didn't have to go back to work necessarily, but I wanted to work, and I wanted to make money. I enjoyed having an income. I enjoyed that extra spending money, right? If it was for concert tickets or to get my hair done, or to buy new clothes in the spring. I mean, I liked to make my own money. And so I found network marketing in early 2012. My next door neighbor started this product, and she was feeling great. And I was like, well, I want to try it. And I was loving it, and I was excited. And, back then, it wasn't, crazy social media, MLM direct sales. It just wasn't back then. But, it was talking to my neighbors at the bus stop, talking to my sisters that live across the country, my friends from home, my friends from high school, my friends from college, just talking to those individuals like, hey, have you heard of this product? Have you ever tried it? And the gal that introduced me to it said, you know, like we do, you're already sharing this product. Have you thought about, you know, joining my team and making a little income and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, sure, why not? I'm home. I have nothing to lose. I'm online. I'm on social media anyway. Why not? I have nothing to lose. And I truly enjoyed the product. So I was with that company from 2012 until November of 2014. So about 2.5 years I was with them. And I loved it. I loved the direct sales concept. I loved that I could get a paycheck every week. I was having fun with it. I loved sharing. I loved, you know, helping people feel good. I loved the product. So I did that for about 2.5 years. The product changed. The ingredients changed. You know, I was losing customers. I was still working just as hard. I was still sharing. I was still putting in, you know, X amount of hours a week doing the, you know, we didn't have Zooms and all of that, you know, Facebook videos, but we did a lot of calls and corporate calls, and I enjoyed it, but it just kind of ran its course after a while. And I think in our biggest month with that company, we did like 13 or 14,000 a month, which was a lot. And it was a lot back then. And so it was cool. But I remember at one point, my husband kind of looked at me and said, you're still working X amount of hours. You're still just as passionate. You're still sharing. But, you know, when your paychecks go from maybe 500 a week to like 50 a week, or 400 a week to 75 a week, you know, it's like, what's going on here? Why are things changing so much? The company sold, we had a new president come in. And honestly, it wasn't until a friend, because I always say with Thrive, it starts with a friend. It's that one friend sharing with you, introducing you to the 3 steps. And that's what it was. It was a friend on Facebook posting about Thrive. And I had never heard of the 3 steps. And I was thinking, what is that patch on your arm? And she said, I can keep up with my boys. I obviously had 2 boys. It was Holly Choate, also fellow 200K and Lavelle millionaire. It was Holly. And so I was kind of following Holly for a couple weeks, and she was promoting, and I saw her earn this VIP bonus. I saw her Facebook post, and I was like, oh my God, people want this Thrive stuff. This is crazy. And I kind of watched from afar for a few weeks, and I finally said, I'm going to call her. I want to get a 5-day sample. There was just something in my gut that kind of told me to, you know, take that leap of faith and just kind of, again, trust that friend or whoever you're watching, whoever's sharing, because it really does start with a friend, that one friend who's sharing the Thrive experience with you. So I called Holly. I got a 5-day sample. She charged me for that 5-day sample. And I was waiting, literally staring out the window. I was so excited to try this product. And in the meantime, I was, again, kind of talking about it behind the scenes, asking the moms at the bus stop, things like that. Have you heard of Thrive? It's that sticker thing, and nobody had heard of it. So I was really intrigued, especially by the DFT. I thought, how stinking cool is that we have this wearable nutrition and you're getting your vitamins through your skin. I thought that was super cool. And I knew, you know, it hadn't ever been done before. And I was really impressed with Paul and Jason and, you know, their young entrepreneurial spirit and just how cool Lavelle was. The last company I came from was kind of like, our cloud office looked like 1998. It was very old school MLM. And then when I looked at the cloud office at Lavelle and made my free promoter account, I was like, dang, look at this hot cloud office. It was just, I was very impressed. And I was super excited. And so I got my 5-day sample. I fell in love about the 4th day. And I was just on cloud 9. I was like, I love this product. I was screaming from the rooftops, telling anybody. Obviously, social media, now we're into November 2014, social media, MLM, direct sales, using that as a platform got bigger, right? And that's all I've ever used. I didn't use Instagram. I didn't use Instagram stories. It's legit Facebook. We didn't even have Facebook stories back then. It's just Facebook. Messaging friends, texting everybody, friends, family. Like I said, girls from high school, girls from college. It was always my warm market. I didn't even know what the term cold market meant until a couple years ago, because I never reached out to people I didn't know. I didn't message people I didn't know on Facebook. I just didn't do that. It was warm market people. And so just came in guns a-blazing and was very excited. Obviously, I had some customers with me at the old company that came along. I did things the right way, the correct way, the professional way. I didn't burn any bridges. I didn't do any of that. And I was just genuinely excited. And I felt like $1,000,000. I still feel like $1,000,000. And for me, on the story side, I had been a stay-at-home mom. I was exhausted. I was crabby. I was overwhelmed. If the kids weren't crying as toddlers, I was crying because it's hard. Being a mom, let alone a stay-at-home mom, it's not always easy. I'm going to get emotional. But it wasn't always easy. And back then it wasn't easy. And I didn't want to make dinner. I didn't want to go grocery shopping. I didn't want to do laundry. My husband would be like, dude, could you wash our clothes? I don't have clean underwear to go to work tomorrow. And as a stay-at-home mom, that was kind of my job, right? To make sure we had laundry and groceries and cook and clean. And I just got to a point with my story that I was like parenting from the couch, feeling lousy, just not my peppy normal self. And I thought, gosh, this just has to be life, right? And something just had to give. And so really it was within that 10 days of the Thrive. I remember my husband came home about the 10th day, and I told him I ordered, and he knew, but I didn't really go into specifics about my story with my husband. I don't think he really cared back then. He was just happy I felt better. But I remember it was a Friday, and he came home from work, and it was about the 10th day thriving. And he said, I can tell that you feel better. I can see a glow in your face. You have a pep in your step. You've made dinner this week. You've kept up with the laundry. I'm not coming home and you're in a pissy mood and the kids are crabby and you're crabby. He's like, I can tell you feel better. And that was it. That was it. We just celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary 2 days ago. So when your spouse, significant other notices something within 10 days, I'm like, okay, we have a life-changing product here. And, that's what it was about, going back to, it starts with a friend, sharing with that friend, that family member, that neighbor, that coworker, that soccer mom, that dance mom, the girlfriends from college, the friends from high school, the people you grew up with. Really just introducing them to Thrive. And I think one of the biggest things I've learned in my journey, and it'll be 6 years in November that I hit the promoter button. One of the biggest things I've learned with this journey, and I try to stress to my team all the time, and I want you guys to really write this down. As we're sharing this Thrive experience, it is a process, okay? This is a process. You're not going to talk to somebody tonight or tomorrow, whether it's a friend from high school or a friend from college, and they're going to order. They're probably not going to order the first time you talk to them about Thrive. And when you give yourself a little bit of grace and you understand that it's a process of sharing, introducing them to the Thrive experience, answering their questions, getting that free account, putting them through the funnel, possibly sampling, whatever, smart sample. It's a process, guys. It takes time. You're not going to message someone about Thrive this afternoon and boom, they order. So don't expect that, because it's a process. And I think that's so important, because people want to give up on themselves and stop, or, well, I messaged 5 people, no one responded. So what? Keep going, keep responding. So I think when you realize it's a process of sharing and more introducing people to the Thrive experience, that it takes time, I think that's really where you have your success. So I'll throw it back to you, Lisa.
I think a lot of people, we all know, if you've been a stay-at-home mom before, how that is the hardest job in the world. I don't care what anyone says, but you also lose your identity a little bit. You
Absolutely.
don't have anything outside of it, and it becomes this depressing place. Even though you love your kids and everything, but I remember being there where it's just
Yeah.
gosh, this is all I do is kid stuff at one point. And I think a lot of people are like that, and we forget about that. How many people on your friends list are stay-at-home moms? And I promise you, they all 99% of them all probably get to that place, and they just want to be a part of something. And I always tell people there are more people that join this industry just to be a part of something, just because they don't want to be alone anymore. They feel like they're kind of on an island by themselves. So I think that's huge. But how, once you did get in, and, I always like, reason why I like people to share their background, whether they were in network marketing before Lavelle, is because I want people to know if they had a network, because we hear these stories of, people going 200K in 5 days, and, everybody's comparing themselves to that person. And what they don't get is that's like the 0.01% of people that are going to come into this company. And they always had a network. I don't know anybody that went 200K that didn't have a network of some sort, even if that network was doing something else outside of network marketing. They just had a big network because maybe they owned a different kind of business. Or so I like people to see that. But what was your timeline as far as, coming in? Did you go 4K in 30 days? How long between each rank all the way to 200K, like roughly?
Yeah, absolutely. And just real quick to go back, our team is really big on three-way calls. And honestly, the reason we have a 200K board and that millionaire recipient award is because we do three-way calls. So what I wanted to talk about with the three-way calls quickly is what we were talking about, being a stay-at-home mom. This direct sales little gig was such an outlet for me. And I was so lost, and I enjoyed working, and I missed working, but I still wanted to get my babies on and off the bus and drop them off at preschool. I did want to be home with them. I did. But I was lost and I needed an outlet. And this was a perfect outlet for me and my family. And I say that all the time when I talk to stay-at-home moms on the phone about either, thriving with us or becoming a promoter. I'm like, it's such a beautiful outlet. You're going to meet so many moms just like you, all across the country, different walks of life. But you know what? It's such an outlet. Everyone's fun and supportive. And, it may all be online, but that's okay with Zooms and calls. Like, it's just a beautiful thing. And it is such a beautiful thing. So to go back to your question, we actually hit 200K in 5 months. We did that. But I did come with somewhat of a network, absolutely. And you're right, Lisa, people don't just join Lavelle and hit 200K in 5 days or 5 months or 10 months. It's not the norm, and it's extremely rare. And you can't compare yourself because, like Lisa said, those people have big networks, whether it's coming from another company or a different business, their husband owns a shop in town or the bar in town or whatever. They have just a bigger network of people, or they just started before you did, right? So we came in, hit VIP 800, 1600, literally within the first 2 weeks. We hit 4K, obviously in the first 30 days, got the iPad mini. Back then, they actually sent you the iPad mini. I was super excited for that. We had an old cracked iPad that my oldest son was playing with at home. We couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford a new device, so I was grateful to have that other than my phone to work my business. No one was allowed to touch it. That was Mama's earned iPad. And then I remember Jennifer's aunt calling me the first week of December or so, and she was like, "You just hit 12K. I'm like, "What does that mean?" Because I had no clue about the compensation plan. I didn't know what anything meant. I just was sharing Thrive. I never asked about the comp plan. I never asked how much money I'm going to make. I just never asked because I was too busy sharing Thrive and getting samples out and doing three-way calls. And when you focus more on that, that's when the money things come, right? That's when the ranks come, when you don't focus on it. And then we hit 40K on New Year's Eve. That was 12/31/14. I remember Hallie Choke calling me, and New Year's Eve, we were out celebrating, and hit 40K. We hit 80K in March of 2015. That was my first lifestyle getaway. We were in Vegas. Very small lifestyle getaway compared to what they are now. Super cool to take my husband. He really saw a big vision with Lavelle. So that was neat to take him. Hit 80K. End of February, March, went on the lifestyle getaway, came back, bought my first Lexus, my first luxury car. I was like, dang it, I'm going to go home and buy my car. And then April of 2015, literally flying into convention that year, we hit 200K. So it was very neat to have the 200K banner and be on stage in 2015. It was my first convention, so that was super neat. Again, there weren't that many 200Ks on stage with boards. It has grown so much, which is also super cool to see so many people just continue to follow their dreams. But you know what, guys, I want to tell you that it's not always been roses. And how many of you out there have had a roller coaster journey with your business? Raise your hand, put it in the chats. I mean, let's be real and raw, because if you think for 1 second this is all rosy and easy peasy, it's not, guys. It's not. And it's normal to have those bumps and roads in the journeys, right? That's what makes the journey you. I can tell you, I have a dear friend who's direct to me, who I really didn't know, that I was sharing the Thrive experience with. She hit 200K with us under me in 5 years. She never quit. It took her 5 years. A girl under her hit 80K in 5 years because they never quit and they never gave up. So, you know, you want to talk about bumps in the roads and journeys. You know, we hit 200K in April of 2015. We didn't hit it in May of 15. I don't think we hit it in June of 15 or July. It was like 198, 206, 193, 199, 211, 188. Guys, we did that for over a year. Over a year. It was not uptick, uptick, uptick. It wasn't like that. And it was fine. That's the way it was. But that's what it was for over a year. It was like 188. So think about your ranks, right? When you're like, oh my God, I'm 400 away from 4K. Then you hit 4K. Then you get real close to 12K. Then you fall back. Then you know what I mean? That's all part of the journey, and it happens to every single one of us. So it was very exciting to hit that 200K. But like I said, the next year was crazy. It was like an up and down battle. I remember Kim Collins is a huge mentor to me. And I remember texting her back then, and I'm like, I cannot get over this hump. I don't know what is wrong with me, because it's not my team, it's me. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I need to look in the mirror. Why can I not get over this hump? And it took about 18 months. And so, you know, I was trying to better myself as a leader, and how can I help my team more? So I'll throw it back to you, Lisa.
You know, I wanted to ask you too. I always like to ask people this that were with another company, because you know, a lot of people, this is their first time around, and as they're going through this roller coaster you're talking about, sometimes they question, is this the right place? And all of a sudden, when you get into network marketing, everybody and their brother that's in another network marketing company is reaching out to you, telling you their company's better, their compensation plan's better, you should join me, oh, you want to look at my company, like all of a sudden. And you start going, oh, and then all of a sudden you'll see somebody from like your Lavelle leave, and you'll go, oh wait, did they find something better? Like, and you start questioning all this stuff because you are on this up and down roller coaster. And you start asking, you know, maybe this isn't the right place. Coming from another company, when did you realize, or what did you realize was different about Lavelle compared to where you came from?
Oh, there were so many differences. The product, number one. The product. I mean, if your product doesn't work, I don't care what you're selling or sharing. If your product doesn't work or you don't like it, then there's no point to share it. I mean, you have to like your product. You have to use your product every single day. You know, if you make blankets, you got to like the blankets that you're making, or they're not going to sell, right? Doesn't matter. Everything was different, from the cloud office and that side of things, to the product, to the help and the support and the resources and the training. And there was so many different things. And, you know, I've had so many people over the years message me, as we all have, about joining their team or look at my comp plan. And I get it when you're in that roller coaster funk of things, whether you're having a bad week or a bad month or a bad, 6-month section, or life has hit you hard, which 2020 has sucked for a lot of people. I think you have to remember the power of you, and you can't You can't give up on yourself, and you have to believe in yourself. And I will tell you right now, the biggest thing you cannot do is quit. You can't think, well, things aren't working for me here, so I'm going to go over here and do this. Why? If you're not successful here, why would you go to another company and think you're going to be successful there? Do you know what I mean? Think about that. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So, I think it's all about growth too. It's growth within you as a leader, right? And learning more about your product and learning more about the promoting and learning more about the business. And honestly, at the end of the day, we have to somehow, some way be building a Thrive army below us. That's how this works. It's network marketing, right? The more people you have underneath you, under your team, sharing this amazing product called Thrive, that's how you're going to grow, right? It's an army of people sharing below you. So if you're not where you need to be, you need to look and say, well, gosh, I only have 3 people actively promoting and sharing Thrive. And that's totally fine. They're gravy. They're awesome. But you need more than 3 people. If you're trying to hit 40K, you can't have 6 promoters promoting below you. You have to have more than that. You have to be slowly creating and building this army of people below you sharing your product. And I don't care what you're selling. I don't care if it's candles. I don't care if it's jeans. I don't care if it's jewelry. I don't care if it's Thrive. You have to have and build over time, not overnight, an army of people. And that's how it works. So if you're at 4K and you want to get to 12K, you got to get new promoters. That's how this works. You can't do it by yourself. If you're wanting to hit 40K, you need 2 12Ks below you. Who are those 2 12Ks? Is it Susie? Is it Sally? Sally just want to Thrive for free every month? That's cool. Then it ain't Sally. Talk to Susie. Say, you want to run? You want to hit 12K? Let's go. And you help her hit 12K. Now you need to find another 12K. Who is that person? So I think that's really the blunt of this, you know what I mean, is how you're growing your army below you. And it takes time. Like I said in the beginning, it's a process. You're not going to get off the Zoom and message 30 people and have 30 new promoters tomorrow. I wish that would happen for all of us, but it doesn't. So you have to be consistent and you have to give yourself a little bit of grace, but you have to understand what your plan is. So if you want to grow, you've got to have more promoters below you. And really, it's those new people that are so excited about Thrive. It's getting Thrive into that new town or that community that's never thrived. And that's where you're getting all the customer orders and new promoters. It's exciting. And so that's who you focus on, is really that new person, that new Thrive experience. I might have been thriving for 6 years because I have, but that's what it gets me excited, is the new person who's never tried Thrive. Whether it's personal to me or somebody in my team or my downline, it's like, yes, that's what it's about, that story and reaching that new thriver. But as far as, growing the business, I don't know why you would leave, because you're just going to go to the next place and start over. It doesn't make any sense. If you've already built something here, you already have a couple 100 customer accounts, right, in your cloud office. You're already doing the do. You've learned a lot of the ropes and the basics. Why would you go somewhere else? You just have to, like Jason Camper says, sharpen your sword and get better at your craft. And I honestly believe it is promoters below you sharing with you. That's what it boils down to, guys. You can't hit 200K by yourself. You can't hit 40K by yourself, right? So you got to make a little bit of a plan and figure out who on your team is going to run to that next rank with you. You have to help them get there so you get to your rank. You got to lock arms with a couple people and be like, Sally, you're going 4K, and Susie, you're going 12K. Let's go. And of course you help everybody else, but you focus on those 2, and that's how you're going to rank up, is really building that army. So I'll throw it back to you, Lisa.
I was Googling. Who doesn't Google, right? I was Googling the other day just to kind of I was Googling network marketing statistics and facts and just stuff like that. And a couple of things I ran into said, some said 1 out of 10, some said 1 out of 15, some said 1 out of 20. But the reality is that it is, I would say, at the least 1 out of every 10 people you sign are actually going to be with you in a year. And here's the deal. Like, that's the thing you have to ask yourself is how many promoters have you brought in? If you've only brought in one, that one, listen, a lot of you might get real lucky and that one might be your rock star that takes you to, you know, 12K. But that's that's pretty unlikely. I mean, I haven't seen that happen much. It usually takes signing a few people until you find that one right person that's going to take you to 12K, and then a few more people that's going to take you to that one right person that's going to take you to 200K. Because literally, like when I look at my downline and I look at people under me that have reached 200K, it was really just two good people that led them all the way there, which is awesome, right? But the statistic of 1 out of every 10 or 20 making it, that feels daunting to people, especially when they're having a hard time just signing one person. But here's the thing that they don't get is it takes so much time. Like any business in this world, it takes time, effort, and consistency. And so, a lot of the things that you're doing, what I've seen over the past 10 years and the people that have stuck with me in this industry, by the way, I don't have anybody that stuck with me for 5 years that's not making money. The only people not making money are the ones that quit. I really don't know where they are, but I do know the people that have stuck this out for 5 years, they're making money. They might not be making $1 million, but they are making money to where it's making a difference in their household. It is paying for things. And the thing that people don't realize is those first couple years, for most people that don't have a network coming in like you and I did, and they have to remember we had to build that network before too, right? We all had at some point to build a network. Some of us did it in another company, some of us did it with another business, some of us did it, doing something else in life. But at some point you can't get past that place of having to do the hard work, right? I mean, I've seen, I think, one person in 10 years come in, never have network marketing experience, make a post on Facebook, sign 2 rock stars, and go all the way to the top of a company. That happened one time. The rest of everybody else, it takes a couple years of being consistent. The thing is that people lose that faith. That's the word I want to use. Like the year one comes around, they've been on the Zooms, they're wearing their patch faithfully where people can see it. They're listening to their mentors. They feel like they're doing all the things they need to do and nothing's happening yet. And at that point, they get to this place where they're losing faith, they're losing hope. And what they need to understand is if they just look at the people that have already done it, and we've been able to be over these organizations and watch where people go if they do stay with that consistency and keep that faith, where they end up going, trust in that. Because it is hard. I get that. Like if I was a year into a business and I hadn't signed anyone yet, I would probably be like, what the heck? Like I'm not going to say that that would not be a hard thing. But, speaking of hard, I kind of also wanted to go into, 6 years is a long time in this business. And you're heading almost into 6 years. And I know the roller coaster part of, this journey, it never stops. I always say, like, you figure out who you are as a leader, as a person, and what you're going to do in this industry when you hit your first wall. And for some people, that first wall, they don't hit till after they hit 200K. And I've watched people go 200K super quick, hit that first wall after 200K, and they're no longer here, because they were not willing to push past it. And the ups and downs, and it's clear that you pushed through those walls, right? You're still here today. But what other kinds of things have you, there's a lot of people on here right now that they're red legged, that red leg word, where, oh my gosh, I got this heavy leg, and oh my gosh, my leg passed me. Like, then they're kind of feeling defeated by that. There's people on here that have lost a leg to another company, and they're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And there's people on here that maybe they don't get any upline support. They're like, I signed with somebody, they don't even help me. I want to quit. Um, there's people on here that have downlines that don't like them. Maybe a downline doesn't like them. There's so many scenarios. And we go through all these things, all of us. Like there's nobody exempt from going through these things. As you look back over the last 6 years, what are some things besides that up and down trajectory of just business? What are some things that have kind of set you back, or, that you kind of had to like reevaluate things and go, oh my gosh, and just other troubles that you've run into?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's something that's just part of the business. I mean, guys, you have to remember this. This is your business. You are self-employed. This is your business. It's no one else's but yours. It's not your uplines. It's not your downlines. It's not your next door neighbors. It's yours. And so I think when you take ownership that this is my business, I am self-employed, right? I'm responsible for what happens or what doesn't in my business. You have to take ownership of that. Okay. If you're redlined or have a strong leg or red line, red leg, whatever you guys call it, that's amazing. I have joked with my team for years. Hot damn, I would love one of them to come in and redline my ass. Bring it on. That's how you have to look at that, right? It's a blessing. And you're paid. You get paid on your red line. Guess what? No other company pays you. My last company, if you were redlined or you had a strong leg, you didn't get paid a dime on that team. You're getting paid on a strong red line team. You should be blessed that you have a freaking running rock star below you. And that should encourage you to get out of that red line, right? And you can. So that's I don't even like sometimes that conversation because, well, I'm redlined. So what? You have a rock star below you. Would you rather not have anyone below you running? And you're getting paid on it. Lavelle's paying you. Hello? It's not a bad thing. And you better help those people. You don't look and say, oh, well, I'm redlined. I'm not going to help them. Why would you do that? Don't be a crappy leader. Don't be a crappy leader. You help everybody, okay? And you praise them and you work with them because you're still getting paid on them, right? Now, going back to a lot of things that Lisa said, I'm going to tell you right now, promoters are going to come and go. It's a crapshoot. It's rolling the dice, okay? That's the way it works. If you think half the people that started with me almost 6 years ago are still legit here, basically there's a handful, maybe 5 to 8 or 9, right? Maybe they had a 200K team or an 80K team or a 12K team. They're still thriving, but their ranks have dropped. That's okay. I can't make them work their business. I love them where they are, right? Doesn't matter to me. I have to go find new rock stars. I can't sit around and go, well, so-and-so dropped rank, and so I don't know what I'm going to do. No, you have to be proactive. It's your business. And I've seen that over the years where people are like, well, so-and-so quit. So what? Go find a new promoter. What's wrong with you? You're always dropping people into the funnel, right? New customers, new promoters. You don't just sit around and wait for people. I had a girl who hit 4K and is running for 12K within one of my teams. Last night messaged me, we were talking, and she goes, all my auto ship customers quit. I go, yeah, that's how this works. Auto ship customers are going to stop. They're not going to be on auto ship for 2 years with you. That's not normal. And if they are, then you tell them to hit the promoter button and make some dang money, right? So customers are going to come and go. Promoters are going to come and go. It's part of the business. You can't sit and cry over it. You can't sit and dwell over it. You can't wait 6 months, pick up your big girl panties. You got to go get new promoters. If someone falls off, you better get a new promoter. That's just how the business works. And I think when you understand that power and you're responsible and you're in control of that, you go do it. And you don't wait 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, you go make it happen. It's just part of it. People fall off. Promoters come and go. People leave and go to other companies. 9 times out of 10, they come back to Lavelle. That's just a fact. And it just happens. And so, it is what it is. Like, I've never, I've messaged my uplines, Jennifer Zant, Holly Choate, and been like, oh my gosh, it's a really slow month. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm not crying about it. I'm thinking, okay, how can I fix a slow month for my team? What can I do to make something happen? And that's one of the things too I've always told my team is if there's nothing happening in your business, make something happen. You can't sit around and dwell on it. If there's nothing going on in your business or things are kind of slow, make something happen. Throw a promo out to your team. And it doesn't have to be lots of money. You can do a free customer account contest and give somebody a $25 gift card to Target. Like, be creative. Go through your cabinets behind you. Like, I have all my product in there. Do you have an extra bottle of Sculpt? Can you make a plus line goodie package and say, okay, whoever gets, the most new customer orders between now and the 31st wins a little goodie prize. I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of money, but make shit happen in your business, and you're responsible for that. And you can call your upline and say, help me. I'm at a loss. I'm stuck. I need to get over this hump. What do you suggest I do? There's been many times, like I said, that I've texted Kim Collins or Jennifer Zant or Holly. Maria's obviously within my upline, and said, help. They've been very raw, very real with me. I've had to look in the mirror. I take constructive criticism from them. There have been many times Kim Collins is like, oh no, you don't do that, girl. No. And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, I won't do it. I listen, and take ownership of my business and make something happen. So if customers come and go, which they do, promoters come and go, which they do, it's part of the business. I think once you accept that and you just keep going, it's like dropping people through the funnel. You're always dropping people through the funnel, customers and new promoters. And like, it's exactly like Lisa said, you're not going to bring a new promoter in tomorrow. A, they probably won't order tomorrow. B, they're probably not going to come in and run and hit 12K. It would be great, but it may not happen, but that's okay. You're slowly building that army of thrivers below you, and that's how you're going to rank up. It doesn't matter if customers come and go, you go get new customers. How do I get new customers? Get some samples out the door. There's no starting over in this business. You just jump right back in. You got to get new samples out. We got to get new people thriving. So Lisa, I'll throw it back to you.
That takes me to something else that I wanted to ask you. Like, in 6 years, do you ever feel like you fell into a management place? I know I do sometimes. I'm like, okay, why my PPA is 0 right now? I just fell into management mode. Like, you get so caught up. And especially like those of you guys that are maybe 4K, 12K, you don't need to be at 200K to fall into management mode. I've watched people do it at all levels. They sign a couple people and all of a sudden they rank, and they're like kind of managing those people and thinking those people are going to be the ones that take them to 200K. It's so crazy because my biggest leg, my heavy leg, my red leg that took me to 200K isn't even here anymore. Like, the entire leg is a leg of people that ended up quitting. They didn't even go to another network marketing company. They just gave up on themselves. And it's so crazy because I think about, if I would have just stopped and counted on those people, I would not be here today. Like, my whole business would have fell apart. But how do you, like, I guess, make sure that you're doing income producing activities so you don't fall into management mode?
That's a great question, and I get asked that a lot. It's hard to not fall into management mode. I'm going to tell you right now, I just looked at our PPA reports because I try to post for the team once a month or so. My PPA is at 2. It sucks. It sucks. My PPA is 2. So raise your hand, okay? If you're like, oh my God, my PPA is 1 or 0 or 2, or it happens to all of us. My PPA is 2. For 30 days. So mama's got to be getting new thrivers, and I've got to get new orders in. And that's something I have to do. I can't wait on somebody else to do it. I can't wait for Lavelle to come out with a promo. We've had promos galore. So that's something I have to do. And it is hard to not fall into management mode. And management mode is not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing to be a leader, to love your team, to help your team, to be there for your team 24/7, do the calls, answer in the chats, help with questions, samplers. It's a good thing to be involved, but it is hard because we fall into that management mode. I think for me personally, it's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've gotten it down that I can do it in about 35 to 45 minutes. And if I can wake up and do that after I get my kids on the bus, then I know I've personally done what I can do. For my personal business is that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's really important for all of you guys, because depending on how big your team is or small, doesn't matter, we still have to help people. You're getting questions throughout the day. Maybe you have a team chat depending on your rank, helping people place their orders, answering questions about samples, doing calls, doing Zooms, Lavelle Lives. I mean, it's busy. But I think for me and a lot of my team is finding that 45-minute window. We used to call it a power hour. Now I can do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in 35, 45 minutes. And finding that personal time. I've actually had to uninstall Facebook Messenger on my phone for like an hour so I can do what I need to do. My mother has called and I've not answered the phone because I have to put those blinders on and focus on my personal business. And there are many times over the years that I have looked back and I'm like, oh my God, my PPA is 1. I suck. But I was helping everybody else, and it happens. So that's when I get in my cabinets and I package up all my samples or a lot of product, and I go on a sample blitz. And that's what I call it, a sample blitz. New customer accounts, putting them through the funnel, getting new samples out, because that's what it's about, is people trying our product and getting those 3 steps into their bodies, and at least getting a taste test through a 3-day, 4-day, whatever. And you can charge for them. We don't have to give them out for free. But smart sampling, putting them through the funnel, and I call it a sample blitz. So if things are not happening in my business and things are not happening in your business, and you're sitting around going, I don't know what to do, my PPA is at 1, no one's messaging back, no one's responding, I'm feeling flat, or maybe you're feeling defeated, which happens, go make something happen. I said it earlier. How do we get new customers and new promoters? Through the product. They have to try it. So package up your product, go on a sample blitz, blast it all over your, social media, get in your messages, message people and reach out, text people and reach out. And if you maybe don't have a lot of people to sample to, then you better help your team. Oh, I lost you guys. Then you better help your teams get some samples out, right? Like there's sometimes I have so much product behind me, like there's literally a $400 package that's not even up in my cabinet yet because my cabinets are full. Guys, I have to get this product out of my house. It's got to go. It can't sit here and get dusty. So if I can't get it all out to somebody new with me, then I'm going to go to my teams and go, okay, who's new in VIPs? Those are the people you help, your VIPs. And say, okay, we're going to get 3 people on the phone. You're going to connect me with 3 people in the chat, whatever it is. And I'm going to send out 3 3-day samples or 5 3-day samples. Get it out. Again, you're growing the team below you. You're growing your army below you. So it's just really important to, stick and focus on yourself. Do your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The thing with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll throw it back to you, Lisa. I am still a stay-at-home mom. My kids are older. They're 13 and 10. One is at school. One's upstairs doing e-learning still. It's crazy. And I could lay on the couch all day. I could lay on the couch all freaking day and watch all my Bravo shows and all my cooking shows and lay there with my phone and work and not do a dang thing. No 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't have to make dinner. We could probably just order something. It's 40 degrees today. It's really cold and gray and crappy. It was yesterday. I live in the armpit of Indiana. So, with that being said, though, it's the consistency, and I have to do my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. And so it's the consistency, it's the dedication, and I have to do it. I've worked so hard the last 6 years and helped our teams and built, what we have. I don't want to just wake up and throw it away or watch it crumble because I can't commit to 45 minutes for my personal business. It doesn't make sense. Why would you work as hard as you've worked and gotten where you are and then just throw it all away, or just one day wake up and stop and go, I don't want to do this anymore? Like, it's okay to take a break. I get that. But why would you just wake up and stop? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'll throw it back to you, Lisa.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either. Especially when we can literally run our business for free and get our products free just by referring to people. Like, you really have nothing to lose on this ride. And that's the thing that sets Lavelle apart really from every other network marketing company is in order to be paid in other network marketing companies, in order to be just even in that company as a promoter, you've got to spend a certain amount of money every month personally. Here, you don't have to do that. So on a ride that literally is virtually free to do every month, why not ride it out, stay consistent, share something you're passionate about and love, and see where it takes you in 5 years? Like, you're not losing anything to do that. And that's usually most people's gripe in network marketing is by the third, fourth month, they're like, okay, this is costing me more than I'm making.
Right.
And I get that. Like, I totally get that. That's why we're so blessed over here. And one of the things you said, and I was thinking, oh my God, you're so right, is people always end up coming back to Lavelle. I've lost some 80Ks and 200Ks, and all of them, not just one or two, every single one of them either have tried to come back to Lavelle or they're on to their third, fourth, or fifth company because the grass was not greener. And it's, network marketing is, all businesses are hard. I don't care what you get into. I don't care if you're going to open a salon. I mean, it doesn't matter what business you do. All businesses are hard. And all businesses have issues, and there's all the things. It doesn't matter what kind of business you get into.
Well, especially right now. I mean, oh my God.
Right.
Like, I cannot imagine. My parents were small business owners for 35 years. My dad retired 5 or 6 years ago, and they were here yesterday visiting, and he was like, oh my God, I can't imagine being a small business owner anywhere in any part of the country. Doesn't matter if you're red or blue or who you vote for. Like, it's some serious stuff. There's a lot of people, and it's sad, losing their businesses, losing their homes, can't put food on the table because they're self-employed. And we're blessed to be able to do this. I have sweatpants on and slippers, and I get to do it from my house, and I get to get my kid on and off the bus and make chili for dinner tonight. I'm blessed to be able to do that. You guys are blessed to be able to do this, especially in this moment. And I want to say one thing real quick, and I'm going to throw it back to you. My dad was here yesterday, and I'm going to be really raw and really honest with you guys. I told some of my leaders this yesterday. We are going to see a number in front of our team sales collectively for the month of October that we have not seen in 3.5 years. Okay? Did you all hear me? My team is going to see a number in front of it collectively as we end October with a number we have not seen in 3.5 years. Okay. I told my dad yesterday, I said, it's been a little slow, which is the way it is. And my dad goes, Courtney, it's an election year and we're in the middle of a freaking pandemic. My dad owned a small business for 35 years. That's where I get my mom and pop entrepreneurial spirit from. Okay. My dad is one of my biggest mentors when it comes to business, being self-employed. And dads have the best wisdom. And he looked at me and said, Dad, or Court, it's an election year and there's a freaking pandemic going on. And I said, you're absolutely right. And I was not complaining. I was just simply stating a fact. Now, am I going to go on the couch and cry? Am I going to quit? No, I'm not going to quit. Why would I do that? Am I going to take my foot off the gas? No, it is what it is. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm slow, my team is slow. My 80Ks are slow. My 200Ks are slow, right? So if I'm slow, they're all slow. We're all having a little bit of a slower month. It's okay. We're not going to quit. We're going to buck it up. We're going to get through it. We're going to knuckle down. We're going to create, promos for our teams. We're going to have fun. We're going to get samples out. We're rolling into a new month. It is what it is. So I say that with love, you guys. If you think it's hard, or you've had a hard spot or a rough spot, or this year has sucked ass for you guys, I'm sorry. And guess what? I'm telling you this because it's just the truth. It's just a fact. And I'm not mad or upset. It's just a fact. And so, what do we do with that? Where do we go from here? We don't quit. We don't go cry for 2 days. We make it work. I'm working on new promoters. I need new people plugging into my army of people sharing the Thrive experience. I just showed you. I got to get that product out of my house. I have to get it out. So I'm going to go on a sample blitz for myself, and then I'll help some VIPs, some newbies that have some new excitement. So I tell you guys that with love, make something happen for your business. And if it's not, go do it. So I'll throw it back to you, Lisa.
Yeah, I was just thinking we're coming into November and December, which are planting seeds months. I've been doing this for 10 years. I already know the ebbs and flows in this business. This is why you need to trust the people that have been in and what they're telling you, because I've seen 10 years of this industry, and I know that November and December are two of my biggest planting seeds months. I might not have a great PPA, but I am planting a ton of seeds because I see a lot of people in the holiday season. I'm planting seeds, building relationships. And then all of a sudden January comes and the spike starts. January through April, biggest months in network marketing in every company, really. We're just blessed with Lavelle that, they do things throughout the year. I did come from another company, and in that company, they totally would only do things in 2 months, the first 2 months of the year. And that was it. Like Lavelle, every month we're throwing out promos for our team. They're throwing out promos for our customer. They're doing this, they're doing that. They're constantly doing something to help us. Um, and, we're blessed by that. But one last question I had for you is, what are for everybody on here, whether they're new or they've been in forever and ever, as they kind of take themselves through the end of the year, what are a couple of tips that you have that you think everybody needs to be doing the next 2 months in order to see an amazing 2021?
Oh, yes. Well, I love that you talked about that. And that's something you guys need to really remember and think about going into November and December, and tell your teams. And I'm going to tell my teams. It is a big planting season. And I've always been about planting seeds, harvesting. What you're doing today and tomorrow is going to come back to you in the next 30, 60, 90 days. I strongly believe that. I've always told my team that. So if you're messaging out, doing your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, doing the new reach outs, doing the follow-ups, creating new accounts, creating new relationships, all of those things that we do, and there's so many different avenues of sharing with IPAs, income producing activities, all of that's going to come back to you. And so you have to remember all that work that you're putting in, right, is for really that growth. Like she was saying, January, I think it's more January into about June. I think once summer hits, 4th of July, that kind of stuff, we taper off a little bit in the summer. Again, it's just the ebbs and flows of direct sales, network marketing. I've been in it for 8 years. Lisa's been in it for 10. It's just the way that it is. And I think if you let people know, it may be a little slower in November and December. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Remember, we're in an election year and we're in a freaking pandemic. And, people are going to be worrying about how to, put Christmas under the table or under the tree for their children. They might not be buying $150 a month of Thrive. And I don't blame them, right? So, it's not really about you, it's about them. But that window opens in January. And over the years, I've had so many people comment and say, get back with me in January. I want to order in January. I'm going to get through Christmas and I want to order a promoter pack. Write everybody down is my biggest tip. Don't ever count anybody out. And you're going to start hearing it soon. You're going to start hearing the holidays are coming up. The holidays are coming. I can't with the holidays. I'm saving for Christmas. My husband lost his job. There's real shit like that happening with this pandemic. And so it's not about you or our product, it's about them. And so you have to write everybody down. Be really, really good with that follow-up list, and don't forget to write them down, because in January, you can reach back out. And my favorite thing is in January when I reach back out and they go, well, I got this credit card bill from Christmas. Well, guess what? Then you need to click the promoter button and let's help you hit 1320 in that first 2 weeks so you can pay off that credit card. Boom. You're just setting yourself up for success. So don't get frustrated. Don't get upset. Work the business. Really write everybody down. Be organized, whether it's a list, notes on your phone, a calendar, an organizer. There's no right or wrong. If you want to go buy a $90 planner, good for you. You don't have to. If you just want to use a piece of computer paper and a pencil from your kid's backpack, go for it. Write everybody down and just know you're planting seeds. It's not you and it's not Thrive. It's them. And it's just going to be a tough Christmas season, more so than ever. And so just remember that, guys. You can still get samples out. You can still do blitzes. You can still do your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just give yourself some grace at the end of the day, and you guys will be rocking and rolling into 2021. So I'll throw it back to you, Lisa.
That's like just some of the best tips ever. And, I don't know if you guys remember, some of you guys are old enough on here to remember the recession that we had in 2008 and 2009. Like, it was bad. I lost my house that year. I lost my car. Like, it was, people were losing their homes left and right. Businesses were shutting down. It was the worst time for the economy, besides now. And do you guys know what happened to the industry of network marketing in 2010, the year that I joined network marketing in 2010? And you guys can Google this. Network marketing as a whole grew faster than it's ever grown in the history of network marketing in the year of 2010 and 2011, because so many people that suffered through that recession and were coming out of it were realizing they needed a plan B. So many people were like, I've got to, the credit cards that I've charged, that's why coming into 2021 and 22, we're going to see the same thing. One thing I've learned in this industry and in life, history repeats itself. And I have no doubt in my mind that we will see another growth in this industry. I think we already are starting to see it a little bit. And it's going to continue. So you've got to be ready for that, guys, and use all the tips that Courtney gave you. And by the way, we just got paid 3 minutes ago. Tuesdays are just such an amazing day. And whether you got paid $5 or $5,000, I have to tell you, there's somebody on your friends list right now that needs that $5. There really is. And it's one of my favorite days to make a post just saying, oh my gosh, put gas in my car for the week. What is your check paying for, right? I mean, what is it? Did it put groceries in your fridge? Did it pay your electric bill? Is it going to help with your car payment? That's what people are looking for, those little things. It's not about, I just bought a boat. I just bought my vacation home. That seems like even unreal to people. They're like, whatever. But when you post that something's helping you put gas in your car or food in your refrigerator, those are the posts that hit people. And I'm just so grateful that every single Tuesday that we get to make posts like that, because we get paid weekly. How cool is that? And it's based off of your efforts from what you've done before. And you guys, the GOAT promo is out right now. Getting that GOAT is huge because, and those of you guys that really don't understand it, it's going to double your pay. It won't double your fast start bonuses, but it's going to double your levels 1 through 8 pay. That's huge. So whatever your paychecks have been, I want you to think about those almost doubled. And I'll tell you what, that's a huge difference, isn't it? If your paycheck was once 50, now it's 100 every week. If it was 5,000, now it's almost 10. Come on, that's huge. That's a huge advance. So I highly suggest that those of you on this run as hard as you can, and do what you can, because it's a huge promotion. Courtney, I want to thank you so much for hopping on with us today and sharing your story and your tips and your lessons. I have no doubt there was somebody on today that needed to hear all of it and so much more. I just appreciate you so much, and we're sidelines, and I just get grateful every week for this call because, I interview people from my own team, but I also interview so many different sidelines, and I'm just always grateful when they say yes, sure, because not everybody's like that. They're like, I'm not making money off your team. I'm not going to train them, or I'm not going to talk to them. Nobody has ever been like that with Lavelle. And I think sometimes we don't even realize how blessed we are with this company and the people that are in it. But I want to thank you so much for hopping on today and sharing with us. You're amazing.
Well, thank you. I appreciated being here. Guys, we're Team Lavelle, and that is such a beautiful thing within this company and within this organization. And, the only way to grow and grow together is to help each other as leaders, and to work together and share tips and ideas. And it's just a blessing. So thank you all so much. I hope you got something out of it. And like she said, don't stop running for that GOAT. I'm telling you right now, don't you get off this Zoom and think, oh my God, I'm $500 away. Oh my God, I'm $600 away. Go get that goat. It will be such a blessing for you and your family. And maybe you'll be able to do something with that 200K pay in the month of November to throw a little promo out to your team, or maybe help send $50 to get that new promoter to order that $200 package, right? To grow your army. So go get that goat promo, be aggressive, have fun. You guys are awesome. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Courtney, and thanks to all of you. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same day, same place, same link. Save the link in your phone, hand it out to your new team members. Make sure they're on this every week. Always good information. Thank you guys for hopping on and pouring into yourselves, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.